Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we have some more drama involving Nijisanji livers, both present and past. Now yesterday I made a video going over some recent drama involving Nijisanji, and little did I know that a lot of the issues I talked about in that video would go much deeper over the past 24 hours. Beginning with the AR live event. So this was something I covered in the video. I considered a pretty big win for Nijisanji EN, who is desperately looking for a win currently after a couple of very tough months. And in that video, I talked about the 3D models that they used during their concert, and I said that they probably weren't the best quality, but I also correctly predicted that after that video, a lot of people would have their posts taken down with DMCA claims by Nijisanji, and that's exactly what's happening on Twitter. If it's happening on YouTube, I am not quite sure yet, but of course, you still have this absolute gem of a model if you need it. And speaking of great models, by the way, check out my Rev Bunny Fumo right here. Only 3 days left to get this before it is gone forever. We are only 5 Fumos away from being fully funded, so make sure to get that before it's too late. And also feel free to bundle with my wife Darling Straub's plushie as well and save 10%. Now, back to that previous video I was talking about, there was another tweet that I shared. It was a screenshot of this interaction right here, which would prove to generate a lot of discussion. And I took this screenshot the night before, not even knowing later on by the time I uploaded and went public, this tweet was deleted and there was a lot of other drama. So what happened? Well, basically you have Kuro here from VShojo. He was, of course, responsible for Mysta Rias, and he graduated from Nijisanji EN not that long ago. And in his tweet, he said this: "I think I was sleepwalking or something because apparently people heard my voice at a concert." Now, of course, he is referring to the AR live event where his former Mysta Rias liver account model would make an appearance and his voice would make an appearance in that concert. Now, that's not too surprising because the AR live event was originally supposed to be in 2023 when he was still a member of the agency, and it got canceled due to COVID concerns, so it was once again brought up in 2024, and that was after his graduation. But he wasn't the only one to make an appearance, and that was something pointed out by these speculations here. So number one, right off the bat, I want to address this. So what Kuro is saying here is allowing people to make speculations. This is a vague tweet about a former account at a former agency that he used to be at, which is Nijisanji, which, let's be honest, is a pretty controversial topic right now. And some people were genuinely looking at his tweet and what happened in the concert and thinking, well, how did this all come about? How did a now graduated liver make an appearance in this concert? So people were making some assumptions based on this vague tweet, where Rima would say, nah, they did not completely remove Mysta's voice from the concert. So first of all, this response would get a lot of criticism, but what she's saying right here, this is factually correct. They did not remove the voice. It was included. It was in fact. Now the way it's phrased, of course, is implying something about Nijisanji, which again, this tweet is vague, and based on the history of Nijisanji over the past couple of months, are you really shocked that people are calling into question some of their practices? But in my previous video, I highlighted this response because at the time, I correctly assumed this is what was going on. So it wasn't just Mysta that made an appearance. It was also Palmu and Nina. Again, all three of those had graduated. And I said, likely they consented to appearing in this concert. And that seems like that was the case. And the only former talent that was not included was Selene, which makes sense. She left the agency on bad terms. And it would make no sense for either party to want to be involved with this concert in 2024. And as we look at some clips from Enna, another Nijisanji EN liver, this would pretty much confirm that these individuals were consenting to their appearance in this 2024 AR Live concert event.
I'm happy that we could keep Nina's voice and Pomu's voice in it too. We personally asked staff, do you guys know how we didn't use any of the originals recordings for anything? We had to sing. Obviously, it's a live version. So all of us had to sing every single song again. So there was an option to just sing the whole Etheria song, the whole Gutsy Soul, 3 of us, but we're like, no. And then Staffson was like, all right, let us check with the team. So we used a couple of other recordings that Nina left. So we were really, really glad.
However, deeper in the thread, Kuro would eventually respond, beginning with this comment right here saying, Kuro is not suggesting that it was a mistake. He's just being a tease like always when it comes to his past, which seems pretty accurate. And then this user would say, what kind of weed did they put in your copium tank, bro? Where Kuro would respond to that saying, coming from Mr. Kuro himself, how is this copium, sir? I don't know what point this original poster is trying to make, but it is so cringe to see me and others taken out of context to spin their own narrative to hate other entities or people. Now, there's a lot going on with this reply referring to the original poster, but I will say, number one, if you're afraid of people like spinning narratives on you and talking about you publicly, like that just comes with being an agency VTuber or a content creator in general. Even people like me have wild narratives being made up about them all the time. That's just a part of doing this. But this whole part here about this whole thing being cringe and taken out of context and, you know, spreading hates and all these things, let's remind ourselves, this is the reply that he is referring to, that they did not completely remove Mysta's voice from the concert. A factual statement that was implying that possibly Nijisanji had some sort of a involvement in it, and they weren't really sure. But that's kind of what you get when you make a vague tweet like this, referring to your past life at another agency. Of course, people are going to start making assumptions. That's part of being a public figure like this. It happens. Now, of course, a lot of people looked at some of the ways that this was handled and have reflected back on the termination of Selene. This is, of course, some more speculation, but I think it's a fair one based on what happened, because in that concert event that we just saw, the AR Live, we saw Nijisanji get the permission of former livers to have these this concert go live. Now think back in December when the Last Cup of Coffee music video that Selene briefly had up was taken down. Copyright was one of the reasons cited, and that had to do with what presumably was shared was that there was background livers, former livers from Nijisanji that they didn't have the rights to. And now that leads to the question, why was that not okay in that situation? How did they not figure it out in that situation? But how did they figure it out for this concert event? Is this something bigger than the people just directly involved? Did Nijisanji get involved? We don't really know, but it raises some interesting questions about that whole situation. But returning to this, we would see Rima actually reply by saying, oh my god, then I completely misunderstood what you meant by this. My bad, I'll take down the post. Which, I'll be honest with you, doing this for a long time, trying to apologize in context like this, it's just not going to work. Like, it's not going to work. I don't blame her at all for deleting the tweet, but like you can see, like the 50 likes, 100 plus quote retweets, like she's getting attacked by multiple fan bases who see this as some kind of a weakness because they are backing down. I mean, I wouldn't say deleting the tweet was a bad idea if you think you misunderstood, but honestly, I would add in the context that in this situation, it was a vague post and someone was making an interpretation based on it. But of course, it wouldn't end there, so then Kuro would go on his second account, his alternate account, and then tweet more about this situation, saying, like, is the VTuber community completely cooked in the brain or what? Bro, I'm in such a bad mood right now, like, drama farmers are actual cancer, as he talks about drama on his alternate account. And then he makes this long post saying this, and I have some things to say about this. So it says, I think the most frustrating thing for me is how much shit I've gotten over the years, but when I looked at these literal randoms who advocate for someone they believe is right, they are 9,000 times more dedicated, toxic, and arrogant to ever change their opinions. And honestly, I agree with this section. I have seen some of the things that he was canceled for when he was Mysta Rias, and I thought they were absolutely ridiculous. And I defended him in several videos because they try to cancel him over the most ticky-tack, stupid things ever. People were just looking for a reason to attack him, and it was pretty cringe in most cases. And down here he says, it just makes me think, what's the point of even trying to apologize or try to be a better person? People realize the only way they're going to get traction is to drama farm and to bandwagon whatever opinion is popular at the time and switch whenever the general consensus has changed. Like, look at yourself. Look at your Twitter profile. Honestly, so embarrassing. There's a difference between having an opinion and pushing your delusions to become real by manipulating anything you can fit your narrative and neglect other things that would support the other parties. Ain't no way, bruh. So right here, obviously, I think it's very clear he doesn't like people covering drama content, and that's probably part of the reason why he responded to Rima in the first place, because she talks about drama content. But again, we're in this likely because of that vague post that he made on his Kuro account, and then he makes a post about drama, and then vague posts about drama on here, generating more drama and speculation on what he's talking about down here, because he's clearly referencing some sort of an issue he has with X, Y, and Z, and people are basically filling in the gaps, which is, of course, speculation and fueling more drama. And for someone who's saying that they hate drama farming so much, they're literally doing that. In fact, they would go onto their stream later that night and then talk about it in the last half an hour multiple times. They would talk about this situation going on with the Rima tweet and related drama.
And like, yeah, shit still happens now, but it's like, at least, you know, the most recent thing that happened to me was genuinely just me being a fucking idiot. At least it wasn't just me, like someone taking shit out of context and making it blow up just because I'm in a company, you know? Like, fuck, dude. And I'm not trying to fucking throw shade, so don't fucking get your drama tuber bullshit, out of context clips bullshit, fucking cringe lord little piece of shit, okay? Alright, I know you need to make some money off other people's fucking misery, so just chill out for a sec, okay? I'm not trying to fucking throw shade, I'm just reminiscing. My god.
So I think looking at the situation as a whole, you have a situation where Mysta Rias makes an appearance in the 2024 AR Live concert event. Then Kuro makes a vague tweet about the situation. People speculate based on that context as to what's going on. And then he responds, calling all these things cringe and drama bait. And then he goes on to his personal account and tweets more about it. And then goes on stream and talks more about the drama. Like, if you're so against all this drama, you're doing it yourself. And like I said earlier, I understand why people would respond to these things in the first place. If you're a content creator and you've been around long enough, you've definitely had people make wild speculations about you and try to argue with you or frame things in a way that doesn't make sense or take things out of context. But if you're going to reply, don't act like, you know, you can say drama's cringe and that people who do X, Y, and Z are bad, but then do it yourself. Even if it's in defense, you're participating in all of this stuff and you're making the drama even worse and you're sparking more speculation and the other things that you claim you don't like to see. That's just kind of how things go when you're an agency VTuber and you get involved in this stuff. It just makes things even more drama filled, but that's not really too surprising. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.